Hey everyone, the Shattered Space DLC is here for Starfield. If you had the pre-order version, then you got this for free, otherwise you can purchase the add-on at will. Now, for the first part of this, it definitely feels like it is looking good and performing well on the deck. However, I did have to run this with FSR 3 balanced, with frame generation on, all the lowest settings, and motion blur off for it to be viable. And as you can see, it just about holds 40 to 60 frames per second with that frame generation on. However, when we get later into the DLC, in buildings and in certain areas, it's fine and in lower population. But in the main city of the DLC, it has major problems. As you can see here, we're struggling to hold even 30 frames per second with that frame generation enabled. So you can imagine just how jittery it feels. The input latency does get noticeable in these situations, but it is bearable. Technically it is playable. It's not the greatest experience though, especially in these sections, but once we're out and about away from these or in the city, it's not a problem. However, this is on GeForce Now, and this is a much better way to play as we don't have that input latency. We get the full ultra graphics and we get a very stable 60 frames per second because that's all the browser gives us on Linux. I really hope they fix this at some point. But now you can see just how good this game looks and how well it can perform if you want it to. If you do have a GeForce Now subscription, you're going to be able to get that full RTX 4080 power. But you can test this out for free and you'll get not quite as good graphics, but not far off to be honest, because you're only targeting 60 frames per second. And I'll leave the link and how to run this on the Steam Deck in the description below. Let us know if you're going to be diving into the DLC for Starfield or whether you've given up on the game and what you're playing instead. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.